RIP サイドストーリークンネチプファイナルエピソード。
Previous overview. Arriving at Kotan, where her sister lives, Kunnecup learns of her sister's death and is guided by Yukkekema's mother to the place where her sister is buried. There, she found her sister's mirror, and the next moment she held it in her hand, she heard her sister's voice. Kunne, you have done nothing wrong, so don't be so sad. So look up and show me your smile, which I love. And I have a request for you. Will you listen to me? I nodded and she continued. First of all, I want you to understand the people who hate Wajan. They had their own reasons for deciding to move far away. So I want you to leave them alone. And secondly, I have an important request. Look for my children. Yukkekema took the children to the sea beyond the mountains to avoid Wajan. I hope my children are growing up healthy and safe, but I'm a little worried. The children's names are R.I.PRESENTS and Kunnecup. Even if you find children, if they are growing up well, that is enough. Then do not forget to carry this mirror with you. It seems that only through this mirror can I talk to you directly. I don't know how long it will be, but I want to talk to you a lot more. Also, Kunnecup is waiting for you in the sea beyond the mountains, so be sure to go and meet him. My sister's story ended here, but I was so surprised that I couldn't speak. I was also surprised to hear that Tan was waiting for me, but the most surprising thing was that my sister had a child. Who is the father of the child? Is it Yukkekema? I really want to see the kids. As I listened to my sister's story, I felt calmer, and as I imagined the children's faces and thought about how to find them, I heard the sound of animals from above. When I looked in the direction from which the voice had been heard, I saw a very large bird looking at me. When I made eye contact with the bird, some melody echoed in my head, just like when I first met Kunnecup. I felt as if the melody was talking to me, and when I made eye contact with the bird and listened intently to the melody, I could understand what the other person was saying. If you get lost, look up and look for me. The voice was very gentle and enveloping. Maybe this bird is the bird god who was watching over my sister. Or did my sister die, so she returned to her original bird body? No way, the reincarnation of my sister. When I was confused because I didn't understand the reason, I suddenly remembered that my mother and sister used to talk about Chikapukami when I was little. It was. Everything has a soul, and each has a god. There are many gods around us who are watching over us. God is watching over my sister who is sleeping here now, and also for me. So, in order not to make my sister sad, I have to look up and look forward. Then I'll go, I murmured, and I stood up and I went back to the road where everyone was waiting with my sister's mirror. When I looked back before descending the mountain, I noticed that the flowers that had been placed there were new. When I asked Yukkekima's mother about the flowers, she told me that someone comes to take care of the grave every day. When I heard that, I realized how much my sister was cherished, and I cried again. After that, feeling a little regretful, we went down the mountain and headed to my sister's house. My sister's house was similar to the one where Susa lived, and it was a very sturdy house with walls piled with stones. The inside of the house felt larger than it looked, and it was very clean. And in the corner of the room, I found something nostalgic. Next to the many baskets, there was a glove compartment that my sister always used, and there were flint, jade stones, and various other things, and it was my sister's own. But there's one thing missing. I can't find the dagger that my sister always carried. I wonder if Yukkekema took the dagger with him. That's fine. The jade stone in the same shape as my sister's seal is more important to me than the dagger. There's no point in leaving my sister's things here, so I'll take them. I'm sure my sister will be delighted. I'd love to hear about how my sister spent her time here, but for today, I'm going to stay in this room and soak in the memories. The next day, I was invited to breakfast, and the house I went to was one size larger than the other houses and had two entrances. When I went inside, there were Yukkekema's parents and a few women, and as I sat down and started eating, Momu and Shalati came into the room. At the beginning of eating, everyone was quiet, and I didn't know what to say, so the silence continued, and Momu and Shalati suddenly said to me, "Eat, eat," and put food in my mouth, surprising me. I was surprised by the suddenness, but everyone around me laughed, and everyone's mood changed completely and became brighter. It was their way of caring, and I was so happy that I naturally smiled. After breakfast, Yukkekema's mother showed us around Kotan, and the atmosphere inside was similar to Kotan, and I felt a little nostalgic. At that time, I told Yukkekema's mother that I was going to find my sister's children. Yukkekema's mother was surprised by the suddenness of the story, but she told me that the children were the children of your sister and Yukkekema, and she bowed her head, saying that the reason they left Kotan was because Yukkekema hated Wajan, and asked for forgiveness. I had already heard about it from my sister and didn't care about it at all, so I asked her to give me a head up and help me get ready to leave. When she heard my story, her sad expression softened a little, and she happily agreed. I then went back to my room and explained the situation to Momu and Shalati, and decided to leave their actions to their discretion. They looked at each other for a moment, then immediately turned to me and replied that they had already made up their minds. but I don't shed any more tears. From now on, I have to act in a way that I don't have any regrets. We immediately started preparing for the trip, but it took a long time to prepare for the long journey, so we decided to leave the next day. The next morning, the weather was clear. A lot of people came to see us off, and two men were going to give us directions halfway. Finally, I hugged Yukkekema's mother and left Kotan, where my sister was. I'm not worried. I don't know what kind of journey awaits me in the future, but believe in myself, believe in my friends, and keep looking forward. Please wait for me, R.I.PRESENTS, see you Kunnecup. I'm sure I'll find you. Thus, Kunnecup, Momu, and Chalati embarked on a nav journey. On Kunnecup chest, a jade stone that was a keepsake of her sister was swaying quietly.